The message. So now we know who we're talking to. What are we going to say to them? So this is where the message comes into play, and understanding what to say to them becomes easier because you've defined who they are, what their fears and implications are, those kinds of things. So one of the exercises I like to go through with clients is, why should they choose you versus the guy down the street? Can't really say like, well, because we're better, right? You have to have a reason. We're cheaper, or we've been around longer, or we pay attention to the details. There's a lot of different ways that you can go about this, but it's very important that you start to define your company as a whole and look less at the competitors, but also compare what do we do better than them, and putting this down on paper also helps you focus on those things to make them even better as time goes on. What benefits do you offer that this avatar will resonate with? If we go back and look at their goals and their desires and the things that they're looking for, what are those things that you offer that can help them achieve that solution? This can really help too with defining a little bit more who your avatar is, and then defining your messaging to that particular audience of how you work with them. And then of course, pain points. We can't forget about poking the bear a little bit, because those are things that are on their mind and that we need to get this thing solved, whatever it happens to be. Poke at that just a little bit and let them, create that urgency or that sense of, we need to get this done. Definitely make sure that you're paying attention to that so that you can weave that into some of your approach. Here's some ideas on messaging that works. Upfront pricing, satisfaction guaranteed, we're on time every time. Some of these are great ways that you can start to differentiate yourself from a competitor, and just some ideas. But as you kind of work through question about what makes us different than our competitors, some of this messaging will start to just kind of surface to the top pretty easily. Now, another thing you can do is go look at some of the reviews that you've received online and see what people are saying. Why did they enjoy working with you? What was the reason that they were so happy that they left you a review? Go back and check those out, because sometimes those can help you start to separate some of the differentiators, those types of things as well. Now, one thing about reviews, be careful not to look at testimonials on sites, and especially your competitors, because testimonials are typically things that you put on your website that are still trust factors for your website, but as the person who runs the website, you can put whatever the heck you want there. So take testimonials with a grain of salt, put more emphasis and more value on reviews left on third parties, typically Google. Look at those, because those are people that are not influenced or they haven't been edited by the owner to make them look in the best light. So 5-star reviews for your company on Google are going to speak volumes to you about how people engaged with you, how they enjoyed your service, and things that you did that make them really happy. The other thing that reviews do is they build social proof. So somebody is more likely to engage with something if other people have already engaged with it. So if there are more reviews for your business than there are for a competitor, that's a competitive advantage. More people are leaving reviews, which means more people must have been happy with your service. So people will tend to actually gravitate in that direction simply because of the number of reviews that a company has. Here's an example: Shades by Design, 61 reviews with a 4.8 average. Then we've got Biscayne Decor, 5-star average, but only 5 reviews, right? That's their 5 cousins and mom. And then we've got the Shade Store, who has more reviews, 14 reviews, but their average is 3.9. That means a decent amount of people were not happy with their service from there. So the obvious answer here is Shades by Design. Maybe they're not a 5.0, but they're right up there at the top. And the number of reviews, 61 reviews, makes that average pretty darn high. So this is a case for asking for reviews and having those reviews on your Google profile so that people can make that choice simply because you've done that piece of the work. So in your workbook, make the case for your business. What are the things that separate you? What are the reasons that people should do business with you? Write those down, put them, do a brain dump of different ideas and cross them off as you kind of go through the workbook a little bit. But come up with a couple good ones that really resonate with your avatar, right? It matches what they're trying to do. And then at the same time helps you be very specific on the messaging that you're using in your marketing efforts, on your website, in your paid ads, on direct mail, anything else that you do. It's going to be much more targeted when you go through this process. The customer will feel less like a customer because you've already poked the bear, you've already talked about their goals, and before they even engage with you, you're already speaking their language. So absolutely a great way to go through that, or a great idea to go through that workbook in that area. Thanks for tuning in with us here at Window Treatment Marketing Pros. This was just one piece of the conversation, so let's keep it going. Click right here for the next part, and we'll see you there. Subscribe for more marketing tips for window treatment and awning companies.